Good morning, guys. I don't have the full on good. I need a soundboard. Like
I was wondering what you were going to do, Zach. Zach is sick today. Chest cold. Sounds like Santa Claus after Christmas, the Christmas run. And I was like, is he going to just power up like he does every single Monday?
I sound like Santa Claus smoked 3 packs of Marlboro Reds.
There you go. There you go.
Had an all-night bender. That's kind of what I sound like.
That's it.
Kind of feel like that, dude.
Sorry you feel down and out, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if this mild and then really cold weather causes these kinds of.
Every year, man. I was telling you in the pre-roll. Every year, either right after the first like balls cold nasty, or right as it's coming. Either way, it's within a week of it. I wake up, I'm fine when I go to bed. I wake up in the morning and it's like, really? Again.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, what day is it? I wouldn't even know if it's Monday until you messaged me to say, hey, what are we talking about today on the podcast? Because I am so confused with Christmas on a Wednesday and New Year's on a Wednesday. So,
yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I can see why sometimes some companies may just shut down from Christmas to New Year's. That would cost us so much money. So we couldn't do it. But very confused about what day of the week it is.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed that. That was the one good thing from Flooring Places. We shut down.
Yeah.
Whatever that week of Christmas was until after New Year's.
That's right.
Didn't bother, you know?
Yeah. We've actually been pretty busy. So people are certainly taking advantage of the opportunity of being home maybe with their company. So our guys have been pretty full schedules with pretty full schedules.
Appliance repair, you kind of can't before Christmas. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's go time. So
A to Z Appliance. Who is A to Z Appliance?
I don't know.
Anybody? What's your first name? A to Z. Imagine if it was A and ended in Z. That would be cool.
Oh, Douglas. Oh.
All right. So what are we talking? We're talking about
difficult customers. Do we need them in our business? Who the heck needs a difficult customer? Well, Doug and I both think you need difficult customers in your business.
We do.
They teach you a lot.
Say that last part again.
They teach you a lot.
Well, there is that for sure. No doubt about it. And they also make it so your competitors maybe close up, right? Make it a little harder for us. We have to persevere. Also, it's fun to network and have a lot of friends in the industry and other businesses, and what one person thinks a difficult customer isn't to another. So there's opportunity there to level up if you have the right mindset, you know. But
that's true.
Well, I'm sure we'll all be very frustrated and completely disagree on common ground here by the end. But Brendan, right? You know, that's not a surprise. I mean, Jay, block your ears. See, Jay's the owner of Action. I would say that he can be a potentially difficult customer because he shares his experiences as a customer, and sometimes I'm like, whoa, wow, and I won't go into much more detail because I like my job and I don't want to lose it. But or my wife is a difficult customer as well, So I'm a terrible customer because I won't tell them that it was a bad experience, and then if I'm so upset and I want to go leave a review, like a bad review, before I start typing it, I usually talk myself out of it. Like, what am I trying to do here? Trying to close this business down? Am I really trying to help other people, or am I just trying to get this frustration? I'm trying to get back at them. If I'm trying to get back at them, then that's not good either, right? So I'm a bad customer because no one will know that I didn't have a good experience. And who the hell wants to run a business and have customers quietly walking away and not coming back? That is the worst thing that can happen to your business, So
yeah, for sure.
Now, you don't seem to be a guy that would hold back your feedback, Zach, as a customer.
I don't, but I typically come from a place of an owner of a business, right? So I'm if I'm writing a review or I'm giving feedback, I'm doing it in a way that I would have liked to receive it
Okay.
as an owner of a company, right?
Mm.
So I had a bad experience with the phone case company. Actually, I've I've had it for every single one of my iPhones. I had one on my iPhone 10, one on my iPhone 13, one on my iPhone 16, right? Fantastic product. I love the product. Their customer service is very much lacking. So FedEx lost the package and then didn't want to take responsibility and kept saying, talk to the shipper, talk to the person who you order this from. So I had put in the email, said, hey, here's the situation. Here's the case number with FedEx. Let me know, because they're telling me to talk to you. They screwed up. I know shipping's not in your hands, but they're telling me to deal with you. And so it took them 6 days to respond to the email. And that was after I also posted on social media. And I kind of broke it down. Like, I love the product, but your customer service, like, that's brutal. And I would want someone to give me that same feedback. Like, hey, we got to put some systems in place or something to fix our customer service. You shouldn't be going 6 days without responding to that customer. So that's just a really good example of, if I'm giving feedback, I'm giving that very feedback. So I could be a difficult customer to some people, because I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to give you the truth. But you're going to know what's wrong. And I'm always going to do it from a place of, I want to see you improve. I want to see you succeed,
Well, let me open in prayer. We probably should pray about grace, since we're talking about difficult customers. While we're doing that, I'd be curious. I've never done this before, but in the comments, if you guys are able, type in what you define as a difficult customer. A sentence or so.
Love it. Pray us up, buddy.
Lord God, you are the God and creator of all things, all living things, the earth. God, you even made difficult customers, and you call us to be the light of the world. I'm sure you don't want us to feel like we're meant to be walked over and taken advantage of either. And so, Lord, your grace that you give us, how does it work in the world around us with people who sometimes assume the worst of us, and maybe speak or act before they think? Lord, help us navigate through these difficult channels. Help us as business owners and leaders and people in charge of customers. Help us be our best version of ourselves and be authentic, but yet appropriate in these situations. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, how do you define a difficult customer in your years of experience, Zach?
My truly difficult customers were typically, you swore at my staff, man. You get one chance, and then we're hanging up the phone on that.
Okay.
And the girls, I told them that. I said, give them a chance to calm down, because frustration, like, help try and walk them through it. But if they continue, you do not have to take that. Just drop that phone,
Yeah. It's got to be a decorum of respect to some level, right? That is subjective to different people. And, some people are super polite and some are more direct and honest, or speak their mind. And swearing is an easy line to draw, right?
Yeah.
How about have you ever had a customer that's canceled on you once or twice, and rescheduled and kind of put holes in your schedule? Has that ever happened to you when you were in the business?
Yeah, it happened a couple times. If they
Would you,
were repeat
yeah, would you,
offenders,
would
we
you
give 'em
consider those people difficult customers?
yeah, I mean, because they just typically, this isn't always true, but typically those customers, um, were the customers who complained about everything when you did actually get to the home,
Well,
right? Like,
there is that. Yeah.
"Oh, your price is terrible." Well, you knew the price ahead of time, like, you know,
Yeah.
so don't give me
They
that.
are often telltale signs, these symptoms that were. How about this? A customer who says they're going to be home, or they say they're home, and then you get there and they're not home. Is that a difficult customer? And they're around the corner, and they make you wait 5 or 10 minutes. Is
I
that a
mean,
difficult customer?
I always told my guys to wait like 10 to 15
Yeah,
minutes if they
yeah.
couldn't get a hold of someone. So,
So
um,
that's not considered a difficult customer who is not there when they say they're supposed to be there.
I mean, it can be to certain people, right? Like in the grand scheme of things, I told my guys like you're getting paid either way, so just
Yeah, yeah.
give them 10,
How about
15 minutes and ride it out and see what happens.
once you quote the repair, they have follow-up questions, questioning the price and trying to have a better understanding of why you're charging what you're charging. Would you consider that a difficult customer?
No. I mean, because here's the thing. We use Blue Book and it was very simple. Here's the price. It's
How about customers who, after they said yes to the repair and you finished it, and a day or a week later, after doing some research online or maybe getting some feedback from friends and family, called to say that they believe that that they were overcharged? Would you consider them a difficult customer?
no. I mean, because again, same thing. Like we agreed to the price. We showed you
Mhm.
the Blue Book pricing. Like you got the price. You got the repair. You got it in a timely fashion.
Yeah,
You called us because no one else would answer the phone.
yeah, yeah.
And we were upfront with everything. And so like that was just like an education. This is an education moment. It can be frustrating early on, especially if you don't have systems in place, if you're not following standardized pricing. Yeah, that can absolutely be a difficult customer for some of
I,
the
I
newer
like I
guys.
like the term frustrating. If a customer causes frustration in us, it's often it's because they're off script of what we typically experience as business to customer, right? Relations. How about that retired engineer that's watching over your shoulder the whole time and asking tons of questions and might even be suggesting that there's a better and faster way of doing it? Would you consider that a difficult customer?
To a point, no.
Okay.
But when they
Okay.
cross that line and
Yeah,
they start telling me that this is the way I'm supposed to do my job, and
that's
then
right.
I ask them and I say, "Hey, so you called me.
Mhm.
You know how to do this, right?
Yeah,
But you called me to do it."
right.
And then they think about it for a second, and it's like, "Right, I know what I'm doing. I'm trained in this just like you were trained in what you were trained in. So I'm gonna do what I do. I've been
Hmm.
doing this a long time.
Right.
You feel free to ask any questions. I'll walk you through the process. I have no problem doing that. But I'm gonna do what I know I need to do, not what you think I should do because
Yeah.
I'm the one trained in this." And so it's all in how you diffuse it. It's all in your temperament. There's times where I had considered customers extremely difficult at this point.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what? Who's next? Right? Like
Yeah.
there's always the next customer.
Right. What's Saul say? Difficult.
People who demand unreasonable requests, constantly complain and speak with rude language. He's not saying it's Doug, by the way, though I think he's kind of hinting that Doug might be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Yeah. Saul, if only you were my Marcone rep, you'd know how I really am.
The one that refuses to pay the service fee after being aware is a terrible customer. Yeah, those are the hard ones because we would very well prepare them ahead of time. They would know on the phone, get the text message reminding them, hey, technician's on the way, trip charges, such and such. It's waived or rolled into the price of the repair if you move forward with the repair, but either way, you're paying the trip charge. So yeah, when they would argue, that would be quite frustrating after the fact because they were well aware ahead of time that that's what the price was. So yeah. Those can be somewhat frustrating.
I mean, elderly customers, I loved them, but on a day that I had a full schedule, the last thing I needed was, a little old lady who you'd think might have called you more for the conversation than the actual appliance repair. And then, watching them write the check for 32 minutes and then putting it in the ledger before they tear the check out of the book to give it to you, and your skin is just ready to peel off. So, I mean, it's funny, right? I mean, it's a difficult customer does not mean a bad customer or a terrible customer. It's all context of your schedule that day or your hot buttons. I'll be honest with you, people that come from a culture of bartering, I don't understand bartering. I actually get offended by people who try to barter because I don't present in that way when I start. And so if I'm rushed, then all of a sudden I'm going to cut to the chase and do a terrible version of bartering and go, the best price I can do is this. And if you don't like it, I will teach you how to fix it yourself. Which would you like to do? My best price, or would you like me to show you how to fix it? Like, I'm calling them a cheapskate, and I'm assuming that they're going to give me crap, and I'm trying to cut through the bull and I'm trying to minimize my script and the amount of energy I got left in my day. So those are my kryptonites, were people who want to barter, and that's not who I am or who our company is, so I had to try to maintain some composure. Feel like I know what it's like to be Zach in those moments.
Yeah,
listen, I'm pretty blessed in the sense that it's hard to get under my skin, and I think that the people in my business, my company, think that I'm some sort of guru. It's just the fact that my nature is that way, and I've learned the way to use things. But when they do get under my skin, it is super ugly for sure, so.
Well, and I think that's the point, right? Difficult customers aren't necessarily difficult. It's frustrating to us, and more than likely it's frustrating to us because we have a lack of education in something. Is it diffusing a customer? Is it empathy? Is it what? Difficult customers, and here is why Doug and I think you need difficult customers in your business, because it forces you to the next level. It forces you to get better, right? Like, difficult customers, they shine a spotlight on your weakness, on your, as Doug said, kryptonite, the thing in you that needs to improve. That difficult customer, they're highlighting that in you, and that's why you're frustrated with them. And so when you frame it from that perspective, it is a little bit easier to kind of work through that. Now, there's some nutso customers.
Yeah,
this has happened. We had a guy get locked in a basement, and my office girl had to call and go, listen, if you do not let my technician leave, the police are on their way.
Yep.
Like, that is a truly difficult nightmare scenario. Like, do not go list all day long. But the reality is, most of the customers that we call difficult, it's a lack in us. Somewhere we need to level up, become better in some way, shape, or form, and that customer is highlighting it for us. Do we view it as an opportunity to get better? Are we going to practice getting better? Or are we going to go, that customer sucks? you know, it's all in how you highlight that. So
Yeah, I think when I was a technician on the road and I would leave a house after having an odd experience or it didn't go the way it typically goes, I would sit there and just drive and go, what the heck just happened there? This thing that I've said for 5 years straight and never had a challenge or a problem, this statement caused this customer to respond this way. Could it happen again? I think it could. I remember there was one where it was a defrost issue. It was an old man and widowed, right? And it was a defrost issue and no cool. So I had to order a heater for it. And I told him, like I've told many times before, listen, while the part's on order, if you empty this thing out, put it in a cooler, get it to your neighbor's house, you've already lost most of your food. If you just if you unplug your refrigerator, open the doors and let it defrost for 12 hours, and then you plug it back in, you'll have a working refrigerator. Now, I remember saying that, and then the customer canceled. Hey, he fixed it. So then the office calls me and says, hey, that customer canceled the heater job. I'm like, he knows, but he didn't know. So then I added that to my script to say, now it's going to work fine, but beware, it's a temporary fix. It's going to happen every 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, I got it. So I told this guy to do that. And I come back, it was the summertime, and I come into this cigarette-filled, widowed Cape Cod house, and I roll into the kitchen, and the lights are off, but there's a bright light, and both doors were still open. So he never shut the doors. And I was like, whoa, what? And he plugged it back in. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, you didn't tell me to shut the doors. And I was like, could this happen again? So for a little while, I added to my script because I thought it might, but eventually your script and how you respond to customers. So if you're not always evolving when you're a technician in the house or you're running your business, if you're not always evolving in how you respond to things. But I love what you said earlier. It makes you better. Like, how about this? You buy things online. We've been doing that for a long, long time. But what Amazon has now done is giving you a tracking number like 5 seconds later. So what we started to find over 10 years ago is we direct ship parts to all our customers, and then they call us when the part arrives, is they started asking for tracking numbers. And there's people in my office going, what? No, we're not going to give tracking. We're not freaking Amazon. Yeah. And we're having these, and all of a sudden now we're having arguments with certain customers who are like, why won't you give me a tracking number? Are you trying to hide something here? Or what? And it's like, what? Now they're assuming the worst of us. So guess what? Over the years, we've now developed a part of an app that automatically sends the tracking number out, because why not? Why not be the best company you can be and communicate everything that's possible out there to communicate? But it took us a little while to not say, well, that's a difficult customer and they're being unreasonable. See, if we draw a hard line, we're probably not going to grow. So there's good things that came out of people asking for things that they've never asked for before. And you just have to question yourself, and you find your processes improve that way.
Yeah. You know, and direct shipping to customers, there's a lot of guys out there that are like, I'm not doing that. That's just crazy. Then they're going to demand that I'm there, that the day the part shows up, and I don't have time in my schedule and this, that, and the other thing. And again, it's highlighting an area in you where you need to grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe you need another technician, or
Right.
maybe you need a better script that communicates, listen, this is going to show up. We have the tracking. We're going to get you on the schedule. Things happen in shipping. Yes, the tracking number says it's going to be there Tuesday between 12 and 5. And, you know, Amazon's a logistic company that can't figure out logistics right now.
Right. Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
2-day shipping, and a week later, I might actually get what I ordered from Amazon.
Oh, man, Zach is definitely one of those difficult customers. Are you kidding me? Come on now. It used to take a week. It used to be, anyway. I think that the difficult, I want people to assume the best of me on my worst day as a customer. If I'm distracted in the moment that I'm in line. I want them to be patient with me. If I'm caught off guard or shocked by a result or a price or something like that, I want to feel safe to be able to ask a question. So if you've ever questioned the process as a customer or the price as a customer, if you've ever done it, how kind and nice of a customer were you? Or did you find yourself saying, if you've ever thought about this, how about like the customers that used to say to me all the time, I would diagnose the problem, quote the job, they'd agree to it. I'd head to the basement. I'd come back upstairs, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later, direct drive machine. It's all fixed. Fixed the problem and 3 little other things, made it beautiful. And they come up and they go, wow, that was fast. Like I used to take that as a compliment. Then one day I realized it really kind of wasn't, that customer was a little caught off guard, thought I might be down there for an hour and a half for $350, but I'm coming up in 20 minutes for $350. And they're saying something that they don't really mean. They're saying like, whoa, I've got an issue here. Maybe could you help me understand that? And for a long time, I used to be like, hey, thanks, man. Thinking about joining the Olympics, right? And realizing that saying that was probably kind of like poking back at them because they weren't saying what they really mean. So I want my technicians, my office staff, to assume the best of everyone until a certain line is drawn, or crossed, because we're not guaranteed to respond perfectly every single time as customers. And we should think about that with our customers, right, Zach?
100%. 100%. That was my point. It's highlighting something in you. Are you the guy that's on the phone in line at the gas station and then fumbling for your wallet to pay for your gas? Or
yeah.
See,
if you've ever taken a phone call and gone through a line at a register, whether that cashier is okay with it or not, I feel like you just disrespected them. And I've done it recently, and I'm apologizing as I'm doing what I think. Why am I apologizing? Because I know it's wrong. Let me have a human interaction with the cashier here. And I don't have to have a long conversation, but answer their question, give them my full attention. I can't do that. No, because I'm a really busy person who owns a business, and I'm, trying to make things. My life is so shitty that I'm going to treat you less than I should treat you. So I believe that we are all difficult customers. We just have to, recognize that. And wouldn't it be cool if we could start a movement of the old school days? So
it drives me crazy when someone's on the phone at the register.
Right.
Like I'll talk all the way up and then I go, hey, listen, you either got to hold or I'll call you back because I'm not gonna talk on the phone to you while I'm checking out. Like take your pick to the person who's on, who I'm talking with, right? Yeah, there's a million variations back on Doug's story about why you were so fast at what you did.
Well, you know what I did, especially on those beautiful direct drives, because it only took moments or minutes to put back together, is I realized I needed to bring them into the experience, or at least offer it.
Right.
Hey, I've got the machine apart. I just want to kind of go over some things with you. And, or even, hey, I've got it almost repaired. I just want to go over the machine before I put it all together. And when you bring them around, they can see that you did take it apart, especially a direct drive back in the day. It looked like you had major surgery, right? Because it's completely apart in 5 seconds. I realized that I needed to bring them in. And sometimes they'd be like, no, I'm all set. I trust you. That's great. And then other times they'd come down, and that helped me present better, right? So, but yeah, Andrew, definitely you have to listen to what they're really asking and address it. And that statement that Andrew has is a perfect one. So.
Well, I'm back to this one because I didn't read it. Sending the tracking also keeps the phone volume down and the agent's focused on inbound calls. Yeah, so there's a million reasons why you would send the tracking number to the customer if you're direct shipping to them. There's a lot of reasons to direct ship to the customer. It's a lot less nightmare for you to handle
Yeah.
in-house. It's a lot less time for your staff and stuff like that. And so any of these stories that we've shared, if you're like, yeah, that type of customer drives me crazy, turn the mirror around, look at yourself and go,
Yeah.
okay, where do I have to grow in the is it process? Is it something in me internally that I have to get better at? What is it? Doug and I are the mindset guys, so chances are you're gonna get a little mindset talk here. So I love difficult customers.
Culture and customers, Zach, they're changing just like everything else almost every day, and we have to stay with the times, right?
Yeah,
we have to the best of our ability, right, make it an important part of our business to be aware and give the best, latest, greatest service.
Businesses that fail to adapt
fail,
right? The reason so many stores have gone out of business. You think of the malls, you think of Sears. Like back in the day, there was customer service. There was people that were helping you. There was people that would be dedicated shoppers with you, and just like all the stuff, right? Like the level of customer service was huge. And the minute they started focusing on profits or not paying attention to customer service or not paying attention to the trends that were going on, like direct shipping parts to customers, that's the minute that they started on that downhill slide. And so being in business, we do need to be aware. And difficult customers, they are a good indicator. They are good. You ever see those airport flags, those socks that, they dictate the direction of the wind and they kind of tell you the way that you're supposed to land on the runway? Difficult customers are that, right? If you start having a string of customers and they're all saying the same thing, pay attention and kind of figure out the way that the winds are blowing. Doesn't mean that you have to change like the core of who you are, the DNA, but maybe there's something you need to improve in your business, and difficult customers are a good indicator of that kind of direction. So.
And I'm hoping that some of the other guys the rest of the week address what do you do with a difficult customer. I would just, as we kind of wrap up, give you a summary to say that a lot of times difficult customers are people who have taken personally what we're trying to do for them. A mistake, an honest mistake, or something that wasn't intentional or was misunderstood by them. They took it personally and they went on the attack. And can we ever think of one time that a difficult customer did those things, assumed the worst of us, and just went on the attack was a good thing at all? I can't think of one time that I was like, yeah, we deserved every bit of that. I love hearing feedback, and when we totally blow it, I love when they share their account. It gives me a chance to say I'm sorry. It gives me a chance to offer something to rectify the issue as best I can. Sometimes you can't make it perfectly right. That's different. I'm talking about people who just open up a can of whoop ass. So the question back to all of you in the world of service and the servant heart, is there ever a time that you think that you can open up a can of whoop ass on a difficult customer? And I'm going to challenge you to say no, never, ever. You need to not make it personal ever. And when it is, figure out how to escape that moment and part ways. And it's not about avoiding a 1-star review. It's not about getting negative, publicity or passing on untruths about you. Just do the right thing, right? I mean, and I've got some people that I almost would deem straight up evil, but I can't make it personal because everything I say and do and my team around me will see that. And they're subjectively going to have their own line that crosses. And they're going to say, well, I saw the guy in charge tear up that customer, rightfully so. And now 3 weeks later, I'm in a spot where this customer twice said they were going to be home, and I drove to their house and they weren't there. It's time for me to model the guy in charge and open a can of whoop ass. And that's not a line I would draw on. So I'm going to tell you, I can't think of a moment. I mean, they could say something about my wife or my kids. I don't know them. I don't care. I'm going to try to get out of that as quick and easy as possible and not make it personal. Very difficult to do, by the way. But I'm going to encourage you, if you say something really great on a review that makes you feel good, you probably shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, and so that goes back to Saul's other comment. Doug is really good at diffusing customers. He meets them at their struggles and can sympathize with them. It's showing humility and grace. I don't know, it's sympathize. I think it's empathize in that case. I think you empathize with them.
But to one sentence, this is what I tell myself. I have no choice. There's no alternative way. Because as soon as I do that, I'm going to begin to justify. Well, they did this, and this. But when they did this, oh boy, like what could someone potentially say to us? Nothing, right? Oh, that'd be so much fun. So why don't you call me later and let's role play and let me just be rude to you just so I can get it out, Want to role play, Saul?
Saul is like that hecklefish. He just sits there and heckles.
Yep. Sure.
But he brings up a lot of great points, so we appreciate.
He does.
We appreciate even our difficult audience members. So I hope y'all had a great Christmas. And I hope y'all have an amazing new year. Mm-hmm. And Doug and I will see you next week on the Morning Grind. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys.